Greetings, hunters and/or gatherers. James here from Neolithic Dawn. I hope everybody's having a wonderful 2026 so far. We have so much planned for you this year. The roadmap has been updated on our website, neolithicdawn.com, to show you everything we have in store for you this year. Thank you so much to everybody playing Neolithic Dawn and all your feedback. I'm really looking forward to continuing the game's development alongside the community. Today's video will be a walkthrough of the Lake Manitou map, specifically the Celestial Aqueduct dungeon. This is like our take on a water temple. It's probably the most technically difficult of the dungeons. It involves a lot of swimming, holding your breath, and maybe if you haven't been putting your stats into those things each generation, it could be difficult. But like always, I'm going to show you the fastest and most direct way to clear the dungeon and continue on your path into the next zone. Without further delay, welcome to Lake Manitou. Alright, so I will be playing the quest version for this walkthrough, but just know it's the same as the PC version, with the difference being the graphics on PC are obviously significantly better. But that's a PC, this is quest. Some of the new cosmetics we got here. Some of the new cosmetics for the winter update. So if you signed in before January 30th, you will get the Adventure Heavy cosmetic. That's what I'm wearing right here. My thick coat. It comes with these snowshoe boots. You can see that I have snowshoes. There is no stat upgrade to wearing this. It just looks cool and you look super cozy and dope. If you are also playing during the holidays, you were probably using the Clan of Reindeer cosmetic. This was limited time only, so this one also goes away January 30th, but will be back for free next year. So yeah, once again, this is Clan of Reindeer and Adventure Heavy from the holiday update. Well, this is more or less well, this is more or less where we left off in the last video. We're at the arrival point in Lake Manitou. I just have one tame with me, my rabbit, Harry, stone axe, and a few simple things like some food and tinder. There's the, that's the boat. Well, really the Glyptodon shell, if you remember. Remember, we came here on a Glyptodon shell. So that's from Bear Island. This is the shell fashioned into a boat. And we're up right up here at the dock with Daniel the Coconut. You might remember Daniel the Coconut from the last video. You can find Daniel on Bear Island. And he stands here at the entrance of Lake Manitou and lets you actually switch maps. So you don't have to go all the way back to the menu. You can talk to Daniel the Coconut and he will let you pick a destination, and then you can set up on the raft back to any previously visited zones. And yeah, I recommend trying that. You can always come back from the level select to the main menu. But if there's certain materials you're missing, or you need like more blueberries, for example, you can't find them in one map, you can always go back, stock up, and then head to the next map. And that's what Daniel's good for. Okay. The first objective you're going to get is to talk to the locals. And this is what you'll see. It's a little bit foggy for me right now, but you should see this rock formation, 2 flags, and 2 towers. That way. You're gonna cross over the bridge, and to the left, there are some unbuilt shelters. So this is like a mini campsite. You can come here, and those are the locals we're supposed to be talking to. Yeah. All right. There's some water here. My board's full though. You discovered the base camp. You can build it with these materials. So if you run the materials into the camps, you can also grab these sleeping bags, freebies for you, before you set out on your adventure. Always good to have a sleeping bag. And one more log, one more tusk. One log, one more tusk. Oh, one more small tusk. Here we go. Nice. That's one. And yeah, if you build the shelters, obviously nomads will spawn. He's gonna want resources from me that I don't have right now. And somebody asked recently, they were wondering how to tame crows. So if you see crows circling like that, you wanna find one of these totems. And these totems, they have a plate at the bottom. And here on this plate is where you can place blueberries, and then you just wait for one of the crows to come down. And that's how you tame crows, from a totem like this. Hope that helps. So he's basically telling us that a long time ago someone came with the same star map tablets that we have, and it was many lifetimes ago. So it's implying that this is either our original ancestor or an earlier ancestor, and he tells us to seek the ones digging up the past. He says we can come back anytime to talk to him. Now, it's going to give you the objective to find the Digsite. And basically there are two people that they recommend we talk to that are local legend hunters. Basically, they're archaeologists, but prehistoric archaeologists. And now our current objective is to basically find these people, and they will give us directions further to find the Celestial Aqueduct. This is a pretty big map. It's very spread out and open, so there's a lot of different areas to it. Some things separated by water, so there's a feather over here. I'm going to show you the most direct path to go straight through, but just know there's multiple routes that you can take. So I'm going to collect that feather. Get some of those done there. This is the left side. There is a cave over on this side. Probably can't see it on account of the fog, but climb down the cliff. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, there's a cave here with some water in front of it, some dogweed. I have my bow, but I don't actually have any arrows yet. So let me get axe. Put that back. That down, that's actually good. That's dogweed, that's crafting material. Nice, okay, we got him. I'm gonna take his hide. So I actually could use some hide. And fine, I will take the meat. But yeah, so if you go into this cave, the flooded mine. And this is a good place to get some stone resources. So before you set out, a good idea to collect the dogweed wraps by the entrance. And some stone while you're here. And now, you may, in the past, have thrown away these little ones or not kept the small stones, but that was a huge mistake, my friend. Because now that you have the bow, the small stones are valuable currency. Because a small stone can be used to craft an arrowhead. And yeah, those are now super valuable. So take your small stones, use your antler to craft them into arrowheads, put them back in your backpack as arrowheads. Oh, I have 3. Is that a big stone? That's a big stone. Might as well craft that anyways. A hand axe, just in case. And a knife. Alright, so now we have some arrowheads, but we don't have another important ingredient that we need to make arrows. And that is the shaft. So, let me see if I can get one more thing of rocks. Let's get that flint rock. Now we turn these into arrowheads. Sweet, we got our arrowheads. Now this area, the flooded mine, is pretty much just a dead end. It's just good for resource gathering. So now that we got what we wanted, I'm gonna swim out of the mine. There can be a lot of swimming in this map. It is Lake Manitou for a reason. So if you didn't already know, you can swim with your hands, and you can actually go pretty fast doing that. But if you get tired, you can always use the thumbstick. So you can always swim with a thumbstick. It's just at a slower speed. It just goes the direction you're looking. And these are the cattails. So you'll see the cattail objects. These are what you will harvest to make arrows. So you use the cattails as an arrow shaft. Here's what they look like. Very thin stick, very small. You can't put a spear tip on it, you can only put arrowheads on it. So you'll go ahead and harvest the cattails. Definitely get as many as you can because the bow is not very accurate. Oh. Okay, so I think I have enough arrows for now. Now we can take the bow and I'll show you. So we have arrow shaft, arrowhead, boom, arrow. You can add a feather to the end, and the feather will increase your range on that, but it's optional. You don't need a feather for the arrow to work. Take arrow shaft, arrowhead, boom, and this other one. Thank you for being being so patient with me as I craft a bunch of arrows. Alright, now we got some arrows. It's going to shoot your least valuable arrow first, is the way it works. So if you pull a bowstring and you have normal shafts, it's going to fire those, and then it's going to fire the ones that have tips on them, and it'll fire your most expensive arrows last, is how it works. Oh, these bludgeons are doing nothing. There we go. So, for those wondering, this is what a blueberry bush looks like. It has this unique shape, and there will be blueberries growing on it in little bunches like this. If you put your hand out near it, sometimes they're hard to see, but if you put your hand out, it should highlight if there's any there to grab. So yeah, I think I got the only two. They're very good. You can eat them, or you can use them to tame animals, like this doe. I need one more. I'll try an apple. Yeah, we tamed her. What are we gonna name her? Let's call her Bambita. Bambi, but girl Bambi. Hi, Bambita. Oh, and now you can pet. She looks very healthy. What are you looking at? Oh, jeez. That's what she's looking at. Don't freak out. Oh, she found blueberries, more blueberry bushes. Nice. The prey animals will lead you to food. They can be very useful. And they will still, like other tames, defend you. Yeah, get him! Get him! Let me get behind my deer. Alright, Bambita. Oh, I'm dehydrated to death. It's okay, Bambita. We'll be fine. I just need to eat something. No, it's my apple. No, you're fine. You don't even need it. It's gone. It's all gone. It's all gone. I have nothing left. Don't get upset. Okay. So just to get the bearings, because it's easy to get lost in this map, if you were coming from the campsite, it's over there. That's the weird shaped rock that we saw earlier. If you come down the hill and just come directly out of that cave, if you choose to go to the mining area, you should come to a small kind of shore. There'll be water. And you should see in the distance 2 NPC exclamation points over there. That is the people we are looking for. Make a new knife. So I have my old one. I'm gonna harvest some of the arrows in case we need more arrows. Why am I still dying? Oh, let me refill my water bottle. By the way, if you press the trigger, it'll toggle that UI. You can see the water. That's actually a small new thing we added for immersions. You can actually turn off the UI by pressing the trigger. You can actually see how much water is left. You pour it out completely. You can see it's just at the bottom there. You can see that it's getting dry. You can see that it's empty. Fill it back up. My guy's still like dying, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him sleep it off. Good place to put a bed, we're gonna sleep it off. Alright, so I recovered some health. I'm hungry again. Okay, so we're going to jump across these platforms here, or swim, your choice, or a combination of jumping and swimming, like I had to do because I fell. And you will discover the Digsite. Bring my deer back. And yeah, the Digsite will have some tinder. It's a good place to harvest that. Always good to have tinder. And you'll find these 2 characters down in the pit. We got Ruin Raider and Excavator of Stones. So I'll talk to Ruin Raider. So they study the ancients. Okay, apparently this lake water level drained at some point. Strange things washing up on shore. They say pieces of celestial structures, so that's the kind of architecture we see from the dungeons. Alright, kind of ominous. Basically wishes us luck, and then we get the new objective to find the Celestial Aqueduct. This guy sounds pretty funny. Alright, so that's pretty much all they give us is some ominous clues, and we get an objective to find the Celestial Aqueduct. From this campsite, there's multiple ways to actually get to the Celestial Aqueduct. You could either follow the path to the left and basically take the cliffside all the way around, You could do the same thing on the right side, or you can go straight through the middle. Going straight through the middle though is a little bit complicated. You're basically in open water. There's no direct path through the center there. It's just a series of islands. So I think I'm gonna go on I guess this would be the east coast side. Yeah, so I'll be going to the east coast side here. You'll be going through their archaeological dig site. And eventually you might reach what looks like a dead end, but you'll just have to go through the water in some parts. But here I'm gonna actually cook some of the meat I have before I go any further. Perfect. Cooked meat is always good to have because it gives you a warmth bonus, if you didn't already know that. All right. Just leave that. So you can go this way. You'll see some more ruins like this cliff here. This part you can follow above or underwater. You can dive down this part. It's like an underwater tunnel, leads to this bridge. Or you can walk around the other side and get to the same bridge, just a different way. This is a bit of a shortcut. I'll pop out over here on the bridge. And yeah, I'm basically just gonna keep going this direction. There's some bears in this area. This happens to be a rabbit, so we're good on that. More blueberry bushes. If they're in season this time of year, maybe not. Alright, so here's a bear. I only have 2 meats. I don't really want to use it on him. Let me see if we can fight him. Let me get a stick. Big rock. Nice. Okay, we got him. Probably not the most efficient way to skin a bear, but what's done is done. If you really follow all the way to the edge and don't take any other smaller islands along the way, then you'll end up on this ice wall cliff that you won't be able to climb up. It'll be frozen, but you will be able to kind of shimmy along the side. And there will be points where you can have to swim. But yeah, there's a lot of lake in Lake Manitou. There are some things to discover underneath the water. You might find some fish.
some other interesting things. But there's also a series of small islands connected. I might see something over there that looks very interesting. That is a point you can go to. There's a shelter up there, far in the distance. But I'm not going to go there in this video. Just know that that's another route you can take if you go more direct. And don't go off to the left side, but I went off to the left side because it's just a little bit easier. Well, relatively speaking. Not necessarily because there's more animals, but depending on your playstyle, you might prefer this direction. I see something in the distance there. No, I'm out of arrows. What? How did I run out of arrows? Okay, so I'm gonna go down this cliff towards some of these smaller islands. We're starting to see more celestial looking ruins of things like this. Statues. Just do things like stairs. That's a good sign that we're getting closer to the dungeon. So now that I've swum pretty much completely across the map, you could follow your star map to this point, by the way. Also, you'll see one giant totem up here, and this is the entrance to the Celestial Aqueduct. A valley separated by these two things, and you'll say Celestial Aqueduct entrance. So you could have gone straight directly through like I did. You could have taken the left path or the right path. Either way, you should end up somewhere here. At the entrance, there will be two small pools, so you can refill your water here. Not that you'll need it, because you'll be in nothing but water. So get used to being wet. This is possibly the last campfire we're going to have for some time. And the objective will be to raise the water in the Celestial Aqueduct. It says enter through the water and look for a way to control the water level. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and just warm up here. I would make a torch, but I won't be able to bring it with me anyways. Make sure your warmth is full. So I can save that for later. And then there'll be this platform, and you're gonna dive in to the water, and you have to swim down underneath this entrance, and there'll be a ceiling here, so you'll need to swim down. Oh, I didn't go all the way through. Gotta go lower. And then back up, and you should enter a chamber that looks like this. And if you look up, that's what you'll see. This is the Celestial Aqueduct chamber. So the first thing I'm going to do is hop out here just to show you a better look at what it's like. So now we're in here. And it has multiple levels. So there's multiple floors of different things. And there's water here. There's a room to the left, it looks, and a room to the right. So we're going to go to the room to the right. You'll also see there's some stone blocks in the map. And these stone blocks you can actually push. or pick them up. So yeah, that's important for the next part. I'm gonna walk through this room, and there is a floating platform here. If you jump on the floating platform, you'll see it actually floats on the water. We're going to use this to our advantage by grabbing some of these stone blocks from this room. And just like with the big shelter building materials, you can't store these in your inventory. You just have to pick them up and move them to where they need to go. So this one, for example, I'm going to put one on here. Nice. It's drifting a little bit far from shore, so I'm going to grab it and move a little bit. I need one more for good measure. You'll need at least two. Might be good to grab an extra just in case something happens and you lose one. You don't want to swim to the bottom and grab it. But now we have two on here. And you can really, it's buoyant, but you can really just walk into the blocks to push it along, or you can hop out of the water and push it by hand. Looks like there's a graphics glitch. I can still feel it here, but it's like invisible from some angles, so we'll have that patched out hopefully by the time this video goes live. Just bear with me on that. Now you can push it out here. Now if you have other people helping you, it might be easier to push the thing out first, and then maybe from here you can put the blocks on it, because there's some blocks in this room, whichever you prefer. The main goal is just that it needs to go from one gate into the other gate, is where it needs to go. Because in the next room, sweet, we'll get it as close as we can, that it doesn't sink. And the next room we have here, there's another floating thing. And you'll see a pressure plate over there. So I'm gonna grab one of the blocks, jump over to the edge, and grab the other block. And put it on the pressure plate. Now if I stand on the pressure plate with it, you notice the water starts going up. Oh, but then if I run off, the water will go back down. So this is why you need two. You need two stones. And once two are on there, quickly, I would actually recommend taking one off. This is the part that can actually get you killed, because the water can rise and you can drown under here. So I would actually take one off. I would get one of these platforms like situated nicely for you, where you can run to it really easily. So now that it's situated, I'm going to throw this on here, and I'm going to go to this platform and get myself over top of it. Or if you can't get yourself over top of it, at least try to stay in the opening where you're not going to drown. Jeez. Well, that was wild. But I survived. Okay. So this room, you'll see, is now flooded completely. And there's a pressure plate. But you need at least two stone blocks. So I'm gonna make sure these floating platforms, I'm gonna make sure these are not stuck under here. Unstuck it. Come on. Got really stuck down there. Nice. Okay, perfect. Now I need stone, so I'm gonna come down here. Through here. You have a log here. And then in the other room. You'll find another pressure plate. And 2 stones. So you put the stones on this pressure plate. Once you get 2 on there, this room will start to flood, but hurry to get out of this room because when this one starts to flood, there is no ceiling you can go through. So you have to go through the entrance and get back up. And at this point, it would be good to have a floating platform in this room. So you could always leave the initial one there. It's probably a good idea. But if you didn't, then you just want to be in this room. Stay above the water level. And it should raise you high enough to reach one of these ladders. So yeah, so that's all you need, minimum of 2 pressure plates. You can do that one. There's another way to solve it where you do the other plate and then you raise the water in a different room. Both are equally valid ways. That was just the easiest way I showed you. And then you climb the ladder and you will make it to the top of the Celestial Aqueduct. If you went the other way, you'd be in this room, and that would have been the route you would have taken. But yeah, so that's that. That's how you get to the Celestial Aqueduct. That's how you complete the puzzle. There's normally a Sabertooth here. I think he wandered off. So, yeah, when you get up here, there's usually a guardian of the aqueduct. In our situation, the guardian of the aqueduct seems to be over here. I'll show you what I mean. This is the first place you'll encounter the Sabertooth, so get your weapons ready. Oh, I really should have done this before. Okay, so this is the Sabertooth. Oh, come on, come on. And he will be at the top of the Celestial Aqueduct, stopping you from getting to the next campsite. Oh my god! Like I said before, if you were in the other room and you used the other pressure plate, this is where you would have come out. By the way, there's another ladder on that side. It's just a separate way to do it. Okay, so here we have the Smilodon. I don't think we're going to be able to tame him. We don't have enough food. So we're just going to fight. So one thing about the Sabertooth is they stalk you slowly, but when they attack, they jump with a lot of force, so their range is really high. So sometimes they can be very quick, and you just have to be ready for them. Nice. So we took him out. We had flint weapons. It's pretty strong. Almost killed us though, we barely made it. His attacks deal a lot of damage, so you don't want to be hit by him. But yeah, that is the Sabertooth at the top of Lake Manitou. And you know what? We're gonna eat him. Yeah. I said it. We're gonna eat him. Why not? Long live. Here. Where's his body? Jeez, that's gruesome. Ah. Brother! What are you doing, brother? Long live the king. Alright, so after defeating this Sabertooth, or taming him, it's a good opportunity to tame him if you brought enough food. There's one final pressure plate up here. There's some stone blocks you can bring over. And I'm going to put them on this pressure plate. And once you do, you should see this water level rises, and actually a whole village comes with it. And this is how you discover the lost campsite in Lake Manitou. Let me get up on that bridge. And yeah, they have an elder at this campsite too. It's another place to get a bow. If you lost it or ran out of durability, you can get a second bow here. And here is their elder.
And
that's it. You'll get a chance to retire like usual. Let's skip it and we'll say farewell. And then they say that our activities with the Celestial Aqueduct have opened a new passage to the north. And that is it for the Celestial Aqueduct puzzle. Once you complete that and raise the hidden campsite, you can talk to the nomads, you can help them, that's optional. Or you can go directly down the hilltop. There's some direwolves here. It's a long hill, and you'll follow the path here down to the right. I'm kind of gonna skip ahead a little bit. Oh, this might kill me, but we're gonna try it. Nice, I made it. There's some direwolves, so be careful. Oh, jeez. You're gonna walk through this rocky outcrop with the direwolves, avoiding them or fighting them or taming them as you please. And then yeah, you're just gonna follow the cliffs to the right. You can explore this area, look for resources, look for sticks. Or you can continue going through this little archway with some platforms. And eventually, if you follow this path, you'll be coming to an ice wall, like what we saw before. You can kind of see the outline of it here. That glacier, that jagged glacier up there. So we're gonna follow the shore. Don't go back in the water. There's some islands over there, but that's not where we need to go right now. We're just gonna stay on the right side. There's some floating platforms as well. But yeah, you'll see an NPC over here. So you can see his exclamation point over there. And this is the Toboggan Rider. So yeah, you'll see a foggy entrance and an NPC, the Toboggan Rider. And you'll be at Glacier Pass. So we've made it to Glacier Pass. And my headset's about to die, so I'll make this quick, but you'll talk to the Toboggan Rider. He'll tell a sad story about losing his dog team. You'll motivate him a little bit. And then he says to find 6 tames and he'll take us. So that's our next objective, to round up tames. So we're gonna be needing 6 tamed animals, and once we have those, we'll come back and talk to the Toboggan Rider. and once you do, then he'll take you to the next map. Oh, yeah, I should have 6 things. If you do have 6 things to talk to him, then you'll be able to proceed. All right, that is all for Lake Manitou. We made it to Toboggan Rider. He's going to take us to the next map, the Tundra, and I hope that helped. That's one possible way to solve the Celestial Aqueduct dungeon. There's other solutions. Like I said, you can use the pressure plate in the other room and transport them there. You can use the floating platform again, but that's probably the quickest and easiest way to get through that dungeon there. Again, hope it was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Neolithic Tribe strong.